dfzradio.com.
Talking about the heavy tea road show. Knowing someone's better than your show. And everybody knowing this whole show. Yeah. Talking about the heavy tea road show.
What is? Horti Chris coughing in the mic. Yes, sir. We are dab-tarded tonight. We had to get dab-tarded after all of our minds were blown in pre-production, except for Horti Chris, because, you know, he never shows up for pre-production.
It's not in my contract.
He's working contractless, much like he often works shirtless.
Free-balling.
Because it's sweatshop where he has all the little Vietnamese children in Westminster sweating, putting together his flip-flops is very hot.
Vietnamese.
Lunch break. Excuse me, Mr. Horti Chris, how I put this flip-flop back together, man? This motherfucker is all fucked up.
Is that how it is?
Perhaps.
Allegedly.
Check it out. It finally cooled off. Aliens have come to Southern California. I saw the whole thing happen. The fucking rocket in the sky, the light in the sky, it was amazing. I ran in and got my wife and my son. My son came out and he's like, "Oh, Dad, shooting star. Can I make a wish?" I'm like, "Go for it, dude." But you know what that really is? That's the boov. You ever seen that animated movie, Home?
No.
The boov, bro. Look it up. Google that shit. It might be the grand prize question. By the way, check it out. This is the Grow Show where you call in, you get hooked up. So phone lines are now open. 562-653-0707 is the phone number. We got a crazy show for you tonight. For one, we're debuting brand new technology, a brand new grow light from Johnson Grow Lights. Similar to what an LED kind of does, but completely different.
Johnson & Johnson?
And I have been very skeptical about this technology. We're not going to take it easy on Steven Johnson. He's here tonight. We're going to run him through the ringer a little bit. We're going to ask him the hard questions. We want you to call in and do the same. But, dude, this guy's prepared. He's got his T's crossed, his I's dotted. This is something that I believe can change the grow game. It's going to increase your grams per watt for sure. It's pretty crazy. That's all I'll say. That's coming up. We have Green Pads in the studio. Mark and Cassie coming in, talking about how stores can get free pizza. And then we have like 4 new sponsors on tonight, so the prizes are even greater than usual. Our sponsors, if you call in, get through. Hey, I have a little too much gain in my headset, please. Anyways, the callers that get through, lucky enough to get through, we have Botanicare, Turpinator, Sanctuary Soil. Johnson Grow Light has a $1,500 fixture to give away on the grand prize tonight.
What?
He's going to set up a Duffrey soldier to be one of the testers, independent test monkey, to tell us what Johnson Grow Light does. Horti Chris is getting one as well. And, of course, the resident methamphetamine user, Vinny Stone, has been using it to cook his cardboard.
Well, yeah, he's been curing cardboard out there?
He's been curing cardboard.
Oh,
in fact, he's in the studio, so I was wondering who stepped in a pile of meth and he followed you here.
Yeah. Skid Row's a really safer place now with his cured cardboard.
Super Bill, did we just get a big order? Oh, yes, we did. Oh, there's plenty of cardboard here. Oh, that's why. He's here to cut up the cardboard out back.
He was rolled in on a cardboard carpet.
He's going to be carried out on a cardboard stretcher. All right, but if you're lucky
He
enough to
might
call
chew his
in
way out with those little teeth.
and get through, Botanicare, Turpinator, Sanctuary Soil Emission Fertilizer, General Hydroponics, Uber Nutrients, Mark's Hydro with all their testing facilities giving out free tests to people in California, testing your flowers for all your resins and everything. Blue Lab Meters, Smart Pots, Hydrodynamics International, Green Pads and Optic Foliar, and welcome to the fray,
Fran.
Johnson Grow Light,
Johnson.
Mills Nutrients,
Johnson.
Nanolux, and
Mills.
Vermicrop Soil.
Now that's it.
So we have a lot more stuff to give away from all of our sponsors. 562-653-0707. Let me introduce my co-host at the end of the table, Senor Horti Crease.
What it do? Hey, I got a little too much gain on this mic. Sound guy, can you fix that?
He's been
shit?
working with Beer 30. They yell all the time. So
You just sound like shit all the time.
What's
in
up,
your
though?
mic.
You got the Horty Facebook fucktard of the week going on?
I don't have a fucktard this week.
Oh, man.
I mean,
Your
I could have
mustache,
one, but
your mustache is the fuck.
I think that it's better to just give it a couple weeks in between fucktards because I really don't like to get that stressed out.
You didn't have one last week.
But the week before that, it was.
I know he
Fucking
goes
amazing.
like a whole month. Yeah, he's the
Hey,
fucktard.
but with all the guests we have in, and I
stash.
didn't mention this, Horty, it's Veterans Day. A big shout out to all the veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service, signing up, putting your life on the line.
Yes.
You know, pausing your personal life to go serve your country, take care of all the citizens and the ideals of the United States. Even if you don't agree with politicians and what they are sending our troops over to do, you got to respect the troops because those guys, you know, they're the best of the best in the world. So thank you so much to all the veterans. We actually have an interview with Grow for Vets with James and Roger from Grow for Vets in Oregon. They're giving away free cannabis in Oregon. Yeah, we're going to be
Send
talking
it over
to them
here. I need some free shit.
in just a few minutes. So let's get
I
to the
need
phone
like a
lines.
pound or two. Give
Let's
us 2
talk to
pounds.
Aaron in North Carolina. Rise up. Aaron?
What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Aaron?
Not much, man.
Hey man, you need some free cannabis?
Well, who doesn't?
Yes.
So do I, bro. Let's go up to Oregon together. Pick me up.
Yeah, we both get twisted.
That's
Right,
what's
yeah,
going on. Hey, but what's up? You want to know how to flush properly?
Say, well, now I couldn't hear you.
What's your question?
Oh, my question is, I got 2 questions, like a 2-part question. I got some autoflowers. I'm in the final, coming into the final 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And I've heard this and that, and I'm kind of confused on the best way to flush. They are hydroponically. They're looking beautiful. And I want to make sure I get the flush right.
Right.
And then I've heard some people say, well, after you flush, you put them in the dark for 3 days. I want to know the proper harvesting and curing way so I don't mess up all my hard work.
Hey, you gotta flush it and then immediately put it in the oven at like 350 degrees.
And it'll be better than anything in North Carolina.
Yeah. That shit will be done. You'll be like baked cookies sheeting it out of the town. People will be eating those cookies like no one's
No,
business.
so listen, when you
telling you.
when you cut it down, you want to cut it down. You want to trim off all the large leaves so you have more openings for the water to dissipate out of, for the water to escape from the most internal parts of the plant. You also break up the branches into several parts for the same reason. And then you hang them in much the same environment that you're growing in. A nice rigid temperature that's not too hot and not too cold. 70 to 75 degrees is perfect for temperature. Humidity, not too low, but not too high. Anywhere from 45 to 50. Even down to 40 is okay. Up to 55 is okay. You want to have wind on those bitches constantly so they're blowing in the wind. So little spores and mold spores don't have the opportunity to start growing on the organic material, the decomposing, dying organic material, which is your plant at this point. And, of course, no lights. Oxidators are horrible. I don't have the ultimate grow fails this week, Horty, but I took a snapshot of this question on there about washing your buds after harvest.
Oh, yeah,
and all these
chlorine.
probiotic guys, which are great, but you're trying to say that you're growing the best medicine, all this stuff, and it's way better. Why the fuck do you got to wash it in hydrogen peroxide, which is not organic at all, and an oxidator that's going to destroy terpenes, it's going to destroy resin, all this stuff. It's silly when people don't know how to
it's
cure right.
stupid. Hey, can you turn my gain down? Thanks.
So we got him though. He's now drying. Horty, tell him where to go from there. when he should start bagging or jarring it up. I know we've go over it quite a bit, but a lot of people don't want to fuck their shit up at the end.
Horty's never done this.
When you think it's
He's
dry,
never got that far.
when you think it's dry, it's probably not. So what you need to do is you need to try to snap the stems that the flowers are on. If they snap like a number 2 pencil, they're good to go. If they bend like a drinking straw, they're not good to go. If you're not sure, if you're still not sure, what I would do is I would take one of your larger flowers and jar it up and let it sit in the sealed jar overnight for at least 12 hours and then open it up and see if it feels really damp and moist and if it starts to have a little bit of a weird smell to it. If it does, then it's still not dry. At that point, if you're still hesitant or you just want to get
So if it still smells like Duffman's wife's weave, it's not ready to go.
Right. If it still smells
Yeah,
like Duff's
stinks,
wife's
dude.
weave, which is made out of
like
horsehair.
It's like,
Then,
like
No,
cat
she buys the
dander.
real human hair from
she
India.
does from India?
Yeah.
Yeah, it stinks.
And
though.
She actually buys hair from cancer kids.
got you.
She's a bitch.
As it falls out, they just collect it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so at that point, then if
So
you're
guys,
still not sure,
the
trim
less
all the
wig.
flowers off of the stems and put them into like a brown paper bag, like a thin layer on the bottom, and just let them sit in some brown paper bags for a few more days, and then jar them up.
Yeah, the main thing is you can get a meter to test how much moisture is left in it. If you're anywhere below 15, 13%, you're probably good. You don't want it too dry because you don't want it to become dust when you put it when you bag it up or you handle it. You want it to still be workable, but you also want it to be consumable. If it's not dry enough, you can't consume it. It's gonna sit there and you're gonna have to light the spliff 27 times. You
I
know?
want to eat it.
But
I got a question I want to
But
ask.
the biggest problem if it turns into hay is that you bagged it or jarred it way too early. And that water comes out and starts oxidizing and breaking down all the aromas, the terpenes, and the resins.
Give me more money.
So it's better to be too dry than think that you should go straight to the bag already.
I dry mine in diapers.
That doesn't make sense, Steph.
Yeah.
Shut up. Let Aaron
Soaks it
talk.
up.
Well, I noticed, I'm asking a question. I've seen where some people use these little hanging dry racks, which is almost like a vegetable hanging basket that they dry it in. How do those work?
The only thing that's negative about those is that when you put the flowers in there, they get flat on the side that they're touching that rack, and it's, I don't know, I think it dries it out almost too quick because there's no stalk there to slowly dry it out. One thing you want is you want the chlorophyll to break down. So if you dry the plants out in 2 or 3 days, they're just going to be harsh. That's why I always say a minimum of 7, more like 14 days. And if you dry it too much, it's better than if you don't dry it enough because you can always rehydrate it by
And once you
using
back
a
it up,
Velveeta pack or
there's gonna
something.
be rehydration.
Right, and
it's
even
gonna bring out the most internal inner moisture because the outer is so dry that when you finally put it in a sealed compartment like a jar, that moisture starts to wick out from the dryness on the flower.
And even when there's a little bit of tension on the flower, so like when you fill the jar up, if you fill it above the lid just a little bit and kind of push it down in there to put a little tension on the flowers in there, it's almost like, I don't want to say a composting effect, but by having a little tension and pressure on those flowers, it'll help wick that moisture out.
Horty's never filled a jar.
I sell dry racks, and this isn't in my best interest to tell you this, but Aaron, a real inexpensive alternative if you're trying to go vertical for the space is go buy 6 feet high, 6 foot long of chicken wire, and go ahead and make that into a tube like a big tomato cage. Put that in your room; it'll be the same circumference, and off that you can hang your flowers, and hang your flowers off of a clothes hanger. And you put clothes hangers high and low all around that thing, all the way around, and you can actually fit more flour on there.
Boom.
Inside and outside, too.
Would I set up and blow a fan on that? to keep the
Absolutely.
air circulating?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll come and dry it for you.
You don't want a 21-inch oscillating fan on high blowing right on to where they look like Superman.
My buds are so dense, I need that, dog.
But you want it to oscillate a little bit just so it's not constant wind, because the constant wind is going to hit the flowers directly in front of it, and they're going to dry out quicker than the ones behind it or further from the fan.
You want the air to kind of go indirectly so that all of them is getting the flow of air to them. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, it can hit them directly, but you just don't want to. You don't want to like hang them in the closet from like left to right, and then have a fan on the left side blowing like shit at the first couple hangers.
Where they're blowing horizontal.
Yeah,
half the time.
where they're flying sideways like Superman, and then the ones at the far right aren't getting any airflow because then the ones on the left are going to be way drier than the ones on the right. And if you jar it all up and some of it's too wet, it's all going to smell like hay.
I put cardboard in front of it.
All right, that makes good sense.
From
But
Vinny.
now on the flushing end, these are like I'm using the hydro pots and I'm using the self-sustained pots where I'm just aerating the water in them. When I do the flush, I normally flush them for a whole week. Do I need to change that water 2 or 3 times a day or once a day? How would I do that?
I would rinse through the top of the basket into the bucket, and then once that's flushed out good, change the bucket to just clean water, and then after 2 days or so, dump that out, put more clean water in there. After a couple days, dump that out, because what you will get is when you have a low amount of salt in the water and a higher amount of salt in the plant, it will actually pull the salts back into the water, so you'll see the ppm or the EC of the water increase over a couple days, and then you want to dump that out and go back to the lower ppm or EC water because it's going to try to balance itself out.
Okay. So
Yeah,
now
but if it's a clearing solution, go ahead and let that run for 2 or 3 days if you want. Then switch it out to fresh water.
Yeah,
and
you could
leach
also
it out.
just put like a Clear X or something in there and rinse that through, and then after 24 hours or so, go to straight water.
Oh, okay. Now, when you say go to straight water, just use regular pH balanced water on that and just let it roll?
Yeah, I
Yep.
prefer to use RO water, but if you're just using pH balanced water from your tap, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, the idea is to start seeing that chlorosis, the dying of the chlorophyll where it's yellowing, where the leaves are yellowing, the stored up nutrient the plant has is starting to be exhausted. And that way you know that you're left with what Mother Nature intended of the flavor of that plant.
Okay. So when I'm flushing, I want to flush it till I see a little bit of yellowing on the leaves. Okay.
Full yellowing.
Full
You
yellowing.
don't want the yellowing to reach the flowers.
Yeah, you just want the yellowing in the outer leaves, the leaves that are in the flowers. Once they start to turn light green and start to turn yellow, kill the flush and kill the plant, because if you end up with yellow leaves in there, you're going to have yellow leaves in your flowers and it's going to be unattractive.
I disagree.
What do you have to say, Duff?
My shit's always yellow and it's bomb. It's like, hey, someone's like, hey, too. Don't even worry about the smell, bro. Just like jar it up. You're good.
Oh, man, I'm going to let you keep it.
If it smells, just throw some potpourri in there. You know what's up. What are these guys doing sign language over here?
I'm trying to find out about the guests.
You're gonna signal
I
it.
can't see line 5, guys. That's what I'm saying. Is line 3 and 5 are guests coming up? You need to tab over. No, that Don Mafu is not him. What about James? You got to get James up, guys. Aaron from North Carolina, you just got hooked up, bro. I'm going to send you some of the Mills sample set. Our brand new sponsor, Mills Pays the Bills. They teamed up with DNA Genetics to give you use nutrient system. A Mills sample kit got the bases A and B, the Start R, the C4, and the Ultimate PK.
Damn.
I'm also going to send you some of those Green Pad Originals. Hang them up. Get a squirt on them, and they're going to rain CO2 down on your face.
Blame it on the rain.
And let's send them some Nitrozyme, too. Our friends at Hydrodynamics International have done it again. Nitrozyme. Where do you shop at, Aaron?
I stop at Hydro Gardens in Greensboro.
Hydro Gardens is now entered into the pizza giveaway, which is going to be drawn at the end of the show. All the callers tell us where they shop at, and if you're lucky enough to win, you get 2 free pizzas the next Wednesday while you listen to the show. Aaron, talk to my screener. I appreciate you, dude.
All right, man. Thanks, man.
All right. Oh, these guys didn't realize we had 2 people to call. So they called Roger,
At least they got one.
not James. All right, let's just sit here. Go ahead and play me some Jeopardy music. Vinny Stone fucked up the stream. Now he's fucking up the screener station. Vinny Stone and his neon laptop.
Every time he comes around. Every fucking time.
Let's do a live read with Dr. Duff.
Look at my. Hey, if you want to get chicks like me, you gotta get a laptop that's purple, guys. That's right. All the chicks be flocking when you bust it out on your lap. Watch out. My throat's got a little because all the hot chicks that have been doing me in the throat. I'm Vinny Stone. If you need any cured cardboard from building, call me on Scrape for Installation. El Nino's coming.
Soak up those oil leaks under your 87 Pinto.
El Nino's coming.
my trademark cardboard sandbags.
I'm down by the beach if you need a cardboard sandbag.
I'm selling them in Seal
Hit me
Beach
up.
to everybody who lives on the ocean. They're little cardboard blocks that are 4 feet high. They'll soak up 80 times their weight in water.
Inspired by Minecraft.
And then they conveniently decompose on your porch and turn into dust that blows off into the sand.
No, it turns into a kitty litter box.
Oh.
Convenience.
Did we lose line 3? You can't get Roger on the phone.
Roger Dodger.
Okay, well, check it out. We're going to go one more grow call. Let's go to Giovanni. Giovanni in Vancouver.
Listen up.
Oh, 1 second, Giovanni. Hey, talk to James real quick and see if he knows what's up with Roger, guys. All right, Giovanni in Vancouver, what's growing on?
Giovanni.
What's going on, heavy team, the guys?
Not
What's
much,
up, dog?
Oh man, feeling good. First time on the show, man. I'm just found out the show and fuck, I love it, man.
Thank
Right
you,
on,
man.
Are you in Vancouver, Canada, or Washington? Washington.
Washington, right on the border of Portland, man.
Yeah, I know where that's at, man.
Yeah.
I'll feel you.
This guy has as much energy as the entire city of Seattle.
And this whole room.
On a
No,
sunny
man, I'm
day.
on a good one. It's awesome. Giovanni,
I
what's
just woke up
growing
at
on?
4.
What's up, Giovanni? What's
growing
up?
on?
All right, man. So check it out. I'm in now Portland
Cardboard sandbags.
has gone legal, and some of these shops got closed and stuff.
Yeah, my shit's legal too, player. Hit me up.
Right
Allegedly.
on, folks. So I want to know, like, what's your procedure of grabbing a new clone and how to quarantine it and make sure that my plants don't get all,
I got
crazy
this.
with
I
that.
got
Well,
this.
if you currently have plants at the location that you live at,
Yes.
I wouldn't suggest bringing it to there. I would get one of those side chicks that you got.
Horti's got a mobile home.
And get like even just a small fluorescent light. Take the clone to
Duff. Make sure your wife makes some room for me.
Hey, bro.
Oh no! If you take plants to his house, you'll have every bug, virus, and
Hey,
mold known to man.
She's got plenty of room in her Coliseum for your gladiator. Believe that.
Oh, is this for real?
The best thing to do is to quarantine it away from the area that you're at. Another thing you can do is when you go to pick it up, take a magnifying glass with you and just inspect the shit out of it. I typically, if I take a clone from someone, like I recently got my hands on some older genetics for a friend through a friend.
This is some bullshit.
And I took them to someone else's place that doesn't have plants at their place at the time.
Come on.
And we started treating it with certain things just to make sure that it's not gonna have any issues, and we're keeping an eye on it. And if we don't see any bugs or pests or weird things on it over the course of a week or two, then we'll move it to the location that it's going to. But I never will like just go pick up a clone and take it home and like put it in the bathroom.
Sounds
and-
legit,
because
dude.
you could get a mite egg on your shirt, or have a mite on your shirt and go in your other room, and
This
once
guy-
one's in there, you're good to go.
This guy gets caucus on his shirt.
I don't know. You should quarantine it, though. I heard that Vinny Stone has a good going rate on cardboard grow rooms.
Yeah, he sells cardboard grow tents.
Cardboard grow tents,
Lean
cardboard
tos.
lights.
They come with a
air-coolable
dumpster and a
cardboard
10
lights.
speed.
So listen,
Air-coolable double-ended.
whenever you get new genetics, you definitely want to quarantine them and don't potentially contaminate your grow room, grow area with whatever might be on it. Cross-contamination is a huge downfall, I would say a leading downfall or reason for people getting bugs or mildew or other problems in their garden.
It's like
disagree.
unprotected sex.
I
So-
disagree. I think it makes your
So you
plant
need to
stronger.
be very aggressive as soon as you get it. I would
It's like
do
immune system.
Jesus
I would
Christ.
do an inspection just like Horti said, and before I brought it into my grow room, I would make a separate area. Also, dunk them in something like an Azamax or a kill on contact like a insect killing soap, a liquid pyrethrin, and then an Azamax. Put them under low light so
Some
you don't
green
get a
cleaner.
phytotoxicity to that. And watch them. If you see any discoloring of the leaf, you'll see that if they have mites before you see any webs or bugs probably.
You know, I thought.
Shut up, Duff.
Paint
We
thinner.
have to go to the Grow for Vet, so shut up because we got to help Giovanni out too. The main thing is, though, is waiting and watching. Don't be too eager to get it into your other room, and then know who you get it from, too. If you're just getting it off Craigslist, for instance, it could be a crapshoot. You got to go to
But he
reputable
said he's getting
people.
it from a dispensary, and those places are like
notorious.
That's
man,
like going
they
to a
suck.
Tijuana whorehouse with the donkey show and forgetting your condoms.
Yes,
You're coming home with something.
it is.
Horti is the
It is,
donkey.
but we do want to expand our quivers of genetics at times, so you just have to take the proper precautions and also start treating all of your plants that are currently in your grow room with preventative measures. So if there are bugs, it's less likely that they'll come and start taking over your current grow. Okay, you just have to be really, really careful and not be too eager just to flip those into bloom. Now, if you're trying to flip them into bloom right away where, say, your entire genetic stock got wiped out, same thing. You bring them in, you hit them hard with insect-killing soap. I would do a vapor sulfurization as well to quell any type of mildew or mold, as well as stifle any other bug activity. Most people don't realize that if they take clones in soil or cocoa, that you also have to treat the soil for pests, as well as rock wool you do too. But you just don't want to treat the plant. You got to treat the entirety of the plant from the root to the top of the plant, not just the above soil line foliage.
So when you say a dunk, do I make like a solution?
So make like a 5-gallon bucket up. Make a 5-gallon bucket up with the dilution, usually the lightest dilution possible, and you take that plant. Go a slow count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Shake
5,
that
4,
shit.
3, 2, 1. Take it out, give it a shake, and put it off to the side and do all the plants that way. And also do a soil drench after that with maybe some BT or I think BT being a bacillus is the most likely to kill the insects as well as be good for your roots as well without being too much. You don't want to give it too much poison at once. Too much poison could kill the plant.
Especially on a small plant.
Exactly.
And I would also treat the rock wool cube or the whatever it's transplanted into as well, because you could have root aphids or you could have mite eggs or something that's in the soil that you don't see on the plant.
You could use an insect-killing soap for that too. Yep. The Prithrin. Liquid Prithrin's real good for all that.
But I would use three different treatment methods. I'd treat the plant and the root zone, and I would do that for a couple weeks before I moved them into anywhere where other plants were.
And then using things like Vitalize, the salicylic acid from our friends at Mills Nutrients to help bolster the plant cells. Something in the root system to make sure the root system starts growing strong. You're going to put poison on it, and it's selective poisoning, right? It's still poison to the plant, but it's more poisonous to the bug. So you have to do things after you poison it to encourage new growth by making the root system healthy, by encouraging and bolstering the plant cells. So you need to be on top of it and almost immediately. Don't wait a day or two from bringing it in. As soon as you walk through your front door, have all that stuff ready and go to town.
Okay. Sounds good, man.
All right, Giovanni, tell us where you shop, dude.
Grow World in Portland, Oregon.
Grow World in Portland.
Oh, shit.
They are entered for the Green Pad Pizza giveaway. Let's send them some of the Azamax from General Hydroponics.
Yes.
That will help with bug prevention and taking care of mildew. Let's send them some Attack from our friends at Optic Foliar. That will definitely take care of mildew. Add the Transport on there. The Transport, when mixed with anything, you can spray on your plants when the lights are on with the Transport in the mix. Also, mix it with the Rev and the Watts, formerly known as Megawatts, to get the most out of your garden. OpticFoliar.com. Learn more about that. And your soil or hydro, buddy?
Soil.
Let's send him the crazy swell. So
Crazy swell.
after he goes quarantine and he has no bugs, he needs to blow up those flowers with the crazy swell from Mission Fertilizer.
Whaled up, baby.
That's right. Giovanni, thanks for calling. Talk to the screener. All right, let's go to our guest here. All right, guys, we've talked with them before. Grow4vets.org, GROWFORVETS.org, helping provide safe, free access to cannabis, a safe alternative to pills and other overprescribed medications that go out to veterans for such disorders or afflictions as post-traumatic stress syndrome, all these things, disorder. So let's welcome to the panel here via phone, Roger and James for Grow4vets.org. What's up, guys?
Living the dream, guys.
What's up, dudes?
Hey, first off, Roger, I know you're a veteran. I want to applaud you and thank you for your service on this Veterans Day.
Thank you,
and
sir.
also all the veterans out there putting your lives on hold to go protect our freedoms. I think every American is in your debt, and I truly appreciate that personally.
Well, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you having James and me on Veterans Day. I'm in Albany, Oregon right now. We were part of the biggest Veterans Day parade west of the Mississippi River today, and
Nice.
It was a truly humbling experience.
That's awesome. Now, Grow for Vets has come a long way. Last time we spoke, you were doing a free cannabis drive at Samurai Garden Supply. You were giving out free cannabis to veterans at Samurai Garden Supply in Albany, right, James? Is that where it's located?
Yes, correct. That's the mother store, and that is where we're also doing the next free cannabis giveaway, one that's hoped to be the largest in Oregon history this Saturday.
Okay, so we went, and that drive was super successful. We spoke to you guys about that, and then now you're basically doing the largest free cannabis giveaway in Oregon history for veterans.
That is what is the hope. So if attendance is basically, if we can get the attendance, we have enough product to give away between all the farms that have so generously donated to the cause that we're hoping to serve a lot of military veterans, a lot.
And this is something that people don't realize, that as people come back from these conflicts abroad, the veterans, the war heroes, they come back, there's a lot of stuff that they have to deal with that people are just the VA specifically and the federal government are pumping pills down these veterans' throat rather than giving them safe access to medication that is more mild on their physical system and help them out better. Roger, can you tell us a little bit about that, about how cannabis and PTSD go together as treatments?
Yeah, I've had that since we last talked. I've had thousands of veterans now tell me that cannabis is the only thing that's ever helped them with PTSD. Not one drug the VA's given them has ever helped at all. We have some veterans coming to us taking 20, 25, even 30 or more different prescription medications every day. And the fact that the public doesn't know is that, you know, we all hear about this 22 vets a day take their own lives. That number's complete bullshit. The real number is well over 50.
Really?
Between prescription drug overdose and suicide, we lose more than 50 American heroes every single day. And unfortunately, on Veterans Day, that number is significantly higher just because the depression rate typically goes higher than it normally is. So it's just an absolute disgrace, and it's time that the VA wake up and recognize the fact that veterans deserve a safe alternative. They've earned a safe alternative to these deadly drugs that the VA is using to kill more than 50 of them every single day.
Is there any silver lining as far as the federal government allowing safe access to cannabis for veterans? Has there been any movement since the last time we spoke?
Yes, actually there has been, and the Senate just, I remember yesterday, or I believe it was yesterday or the day before, moved a bill forward that hopefully is going to become law, directing the VA to allow veterans in states where cannabis is legal anyway, to allow veterans to integrate cannabis into their treatment regimen. Again, that's something that's been too long in coming. Hopefully it will be initiated on a nationwide level very, very soon.
No, I've heard things and rumors about people that are being treated by the federal government under the VA or any other program that they can actually be denied their benefits because they test positive for cannabis. Is this still an issue going around for the veterans, or is this pretty much a moot point now?
No, it's still an issue for veterans, and unfortunately, even though it's not the official VA policy, they've actually, left it up to individual doctors at their discretion to decide whether or not a veteran can utilize cannabis as part of their treatment regimen. The unfortunate fact is you've got one doctor in a facility that will allow it and actually help the veteran use cannabis to get off of some of the deadly narcotic drugs that they're taking, and then another doctor in the exact same facility, will withdraw cold turkey all of those opiates from a veteran and put a flag in their file that they're a marijuana abuser, for God's sake.
Right.
So what we're all about is forcing really getting the VA to realize that, cannabis is a safe alternative. It can't kill you like all the drugs they're shoving down the throats of vets can. So, it's just it makes me nuts to think that cannabis would not be the first treatment option given vets. Because if that doesn't work for them, fine. Then they can give them the drugs that might kill them. But stop giving them those deadly drugs first, and then, have it be too late for them to try cannabis.
Well, it's still, cannabis is a Schedule I drug, and a lot of these people that work within the federal government, I feel, just are ingrained and stick to that status quo because that's what they've believed for so long. What the medical community needs, both public and private, is to start acknowledging the medical evidence from these trials and these tests that are showing that cannabis is a medicine and has positive effects, and not just say it's Schedule I, therefore I will never look at any of those results. But hey, the FDA approved this Oxycontin for 6-year-olds, so let's go give that to some 6-year-olds.
Exactly.
It's absolutely absurd to me. And the medical evidence is there now. For the doctors to turn a blind eye to that is negligent.
The politicians also, they're not trying to do anything about it because they're all behind the times. They're not up to tune with what's really going on in the world, and they're just trying to save face and keep the people who elected them happy. So you get into somewhere like the middle of Texas or Oklahoma or South Dakota, and the people are like, oh, that cannabis, that devil drug. I hope you don't agree with them that they should let people use it for medicine. So the politicians are like, yeah, I think it's a Schedule I. We shouldn't be giving it to people. So, I think that it's more so they're just trying to like keep the people that elect happy.
On the wrong side.
They're on the side of history, but I'm just saying, that's one of the bigger reasons too, is because a lot of people are ill-informed. I mean, Reefer Madness, the movie, my grandparents told me about it.
To me, it's almost like a
so
doctor
those
saying,
people were
hey,
told,
listen, that penicillin's bullshit. Bloodletting's the way to go. Keep them on the bloodletting.
Same shit.
I'm just saying that, a lot of the reason I think that we're still stalled out is because a lot of these politicians are afraid to get on the right side of history because they're more worried about getting another 4-year term in Congress and another $260 grand a year.
Horti, that's a good point, and that's where Grow for Vets come in, because the veterans are a huge group of voters, and they can affect, they cross all kinds of boundaries: race, creed, politics, socioeconomical. If someone's abusing or not taking care of the veterans, that can be a rallying point for the entirety of society to get behind. And that's where growforvets.org come in, right? That's what you guys are doing. You are trying to provide the safe and free access to cannabis for these veterans.
Absolutely.
Well,
and the main
it's about
issue,
providing an alternative choice.
Yeah, and the main problem actually is not with the voters. Believe it or not, the response that we got from the thousands of people lining the streets today for the Veterans Day Parade in Albany was incredible. I got to actually speak with a Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate in Oregon this afternoon after my lady Lori spoke to him and came back and told me that he was very friendly, but he indicated he had not really researched the subject with regard to cannabis and veterans and treatment for PTSD. And I had to go talk to him personally because I'm thinking, he doesn't have any business even running for dog catcher if he hasn't taken the time to research the effects of cannabis, on